Partnered by Times Influence.
The Global Business Summit is here once again with its 5th edition with a new theme of social, sustainable and scalable. A flagship initiative of the Times Group that envisions to bring together visionaries, thought leaders, heads of state, policymakers, academicians and corporate heads cohesively driving a singular agenda for scripting economic change by connecting the building blocks of economics for India and the globe. Launched on January 15, 2015, GBS seeks to provide solutions to key macroeconomic challenges being faced in the current context and put forth a blueprint for sustainable, inclusive economic growth. GBS also serves as a platform for government-to-government interactions, business-to-government meetings, business-to-business engagements, and helps corporates and governments secure investments by showcasing opportunities to apt audiences. Next in line was a roundtable discussion where industry leaders deliberated on the topic of cyber insurance, a must in the digitized world.
Let me get into the first question and maybe get Saket to comment on this. How do you see, Saket, the cyber landscape changing over the last 5-6 years?
Not many people realize that we've jumped from 15 million cell phones to 400 million cell phones in the last 5 years. And what 400 million cell phones still means, we have close to 800 million people still without cell phones. The speed at which Geo and the internet revolution is touching free of cost internet for a $100 cell phone across villages of India. I think the moment you take that, put internet connectivity in the hands of every single person and access to education, access to connectivity, access to anything basically that they want to, I think it's too powerful. And when you put that not just on the consumer side, but also at the government side, where the Prime Minister talks about the most ambitious dream of him being the digital India, we are moving towards a time where it's all going to be digital. Digital comes with the number one risk because of cybersecurity, because that's a new way of living. And when you talk about that, I think this number two and this thing will definitely be number one in the near future in the number of attacks, purely because the attack surface is increasing as we speak every day. And therefore, you need all proactive and reactive security.
Bharat, you've been leading a lot of change in the payment side of things. I mean, given that a construct, what are the top few cyber risks that you are seeing, both for organizations as well as for consumers?
The adoption of technology, adoption of newer stuff coming in the market, people are easily adopting. But at the same time, the way the growth has happened in terms of technology, the growth of security part is yet not taken so seriously. The industrial issues are, one, are we secure or not? There is complete vacuum to quantify that whether I'm secure or not. That gives very dicey situation at what level we are secure. When comes to investment in security, yes, now all around investment is happening, but whether it is adequate or not, and therefore still that shortcuts and or things like that is there. But if we see the overall risk side, the vulnerability which are existing or unknown vulnerabilities, that is point number one. Second, ransomware and the cross-border cyber attack which are happening, which we do detect, but it is too late when we detect, because if you see the number, the 87% of attack happen in any of the environment which happen in few minutes, but around 68% attack are detected after months and months.
Let me turn the question to Tapan. Tapan, sitting in your shoes, where as a leader in the insurance market, how do you see when you look at cyber insurance as one of the products? How do you see the market? Actually, are organizations invested reasonably in cybersecurity? I mean, how do you see this entire piece?
While we talk about organizations and the cyber risk, and they have now CISOs and they have no understanding and they're looking at taking covers. But one thing which is coming, lack of awareness, individuals which are exposed. You see these ransom attacks, you see these cyber stalking happening, you see phishing happening, and old people falling for it. So the insurer for us, since we contribute to society in a large way, these are very important points. And you'll be surprised to know that once I think I was talking to my team that when I started working, my biggest risk for me individually was pickpocketing on the salary day. Because that day you didn't have credit cards, yeah? So you had cash, and that day I has to be very, very worried. But today if I ask anybody, they'd laugh, like you see all these youngsters laughing, yeah? So how can pickpocketing be a worry? Yeah? Today the worry is pickpocketing from mobile, from wallet taps, from phishing attacks, from malware. And then I realized we don't have a product for it in the market. So as a company, we were the first to come out with retail cyber cover. And at a price point of like about 600 or 700 rupees for 1 lakh cover, it's a phenomenal cover. And a lot of people talk about it, discuss about it, but the uptake has still been low. I think people don't realize it can happen to them. And it is happening if you look at newspaper reports every day. From a commercial organization perspective, I think initially they were not very sure about it. But now I think everybody is very, very concerned.
Sure. So let me then pull in Rama on this. So have you really seen that shift? And what are your comments?
So if you look at it, we have this product, Cyber Protect, which is there, and maybe when we take it back to maybe a year back or maybe before that, there used to be around 10 or 15 kind of inquiries in a month, and each inquiry would actually get converted after 6 to 8 months, because there used to be huge discussions, presentations made to the corporate teams, and then they would decide we need to go to the boardroom for the final decision. But in the last 6 months, what we are seeing, the number of inquiries are actually gone up by 4 times. So if today in a month we are getting around 50 inquiries, and we are also seeing conversion of nearly 30-40%, which was not the case earlier. So the one is conversion is happening, the awareness about the product, people want to know about it, and when we go into any kind of presentation, we see their CISO, the legal team, their finance team, the senior management, all interested in seeing how they are going to get protected and how a claim is going to get paid. So overall, we see the overall interest in this particular product increasing day by day, and we are also seeing the closure. It's not only inquiries, the closure is also happening.
Sure. No, so I think Burjan, tell me something. What does a cyber insurance product typically cover, and what are the challenges around that?
Essentially for every enterprise to evaluate what is the risk appetite, I think there are 3 basic modalities that we find that, through all the claims management that we've seen, they need to look at. A is what is their exposure to liability on the cyber front. And the key there is to be realistic about their exposure to liability, not have an unrealistic sense of, we need to have the cyber cover, hence it's there. The second part is their risk appetite. So effectively from the exposure, how much of that appetite are they willing to absorb on their own? Can they take a hit on that exposure? And the third aspect is risk management, and that's typically where an insurance cover kicks in. Now, if any company looks at cyber protect or a cyber insurance as the only risk mitigation tool, that's where the folly is. I think they need to have a holistic interpretation of what risk management is all about, and only then can cyber really synergize with their exposure to liability.
What are banks doing in terms of upping end consumer awareness?
We are a diverse society, and we are a society in transition. There are a lot of things that are happening on digitization. It is happening. Now, in the bank, thanks to the Jan Dhan Yojana, we have more than 800 million bank accounts now who are by and large active. We have 500 people who have access to internet. But then when it comes to the internet banking aspect, only 25% of them have internet banking habit, or they have opted for internet banking. So with this 125 million only, we are quite rightly, we are serious about how to give them some kind of cyber security. We do not have the preparedness at the moment. It is knee-jerk reactions kind of thing we are doing. So there is a need, there is strong need at all levels. We have a responsibility towards the society that we have to promote the awareness among people, especially the financial aspect.
What are the steps that you've attempted to take? I mean, you've of course launched the product around individuals, but are there steps that you've taken in terms of enhancing awareness as well?
We've been, doing this business emotionally, because when we started talking about an individual cyber safe product, when we started developing it, we went to a lot of people to understand if such a product existed in the world, but there is none. So this is indigenously developed by us. We wrote the policy wordings. We had 45 coverages when we started. We skewed it down to 10 coverages, which was simple, relatable, and normal people could understand. If you look at our website, and we've done that with various of our customers, we tried that with Saket also. You can get a policy within 3 minutes. So whenever whosoever comes to my desk, I made that person buy the policy, get a printout. So we made it easy. We've got amazing campaigns across. In fact, our latest Caring Leos campaign also talks about a senior person, doing something on the computer and a message comes up. So on awareness level, we've done our bit so far and we'll continue doing it.
So great conversation. Thanks very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Partnered by Times Influence.